He's James. And this is our beloved Doris. COVID put our careers on hold, so we packed up our lives and moved to New Zealand to live our dream of traveling around in a van. We're going from the very top to the very bottom of the country, and everywhere we can in between. Along the way, we're trying to capture the great and the not-so-great parts of living in a van, and just enjoying New Zealand for the absolute treasure that she is. So come along if you'd like. One of the best parts of traveling is sharing it. Hey honey, where are we going?
New Zealand.
New Zealand. How long until we get to New Zealand?
Days.
36
Literally
hours?
days. Yeah.
36 hours. I'm British and American. James is from New Zealand. We met in London, but because of COVID and his visa restrictions, we had been living together in Sweden. So we were traveling from Gothenburg to Auckland, and it was actually going to take 38 hours. Joke's on you, past Kate. Everyone arriving in New Zealand has to mandatory quarantine for 14 days, so as soon as we got there, we were put on a 3-hour bus ride to Rotorua. But we did get these snack packs that were pretty exciting. This is our quarantine facility, and as far as compulsory confinement goes, it was great. Everyone was so nice, and we had this grassy area to work out in. There's James. What a cutie. Time to walk in a circle. Do, 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 do. Circle walking. The facility was run by the New Zealand Army, and they put up these Christmas lights for us. And a bunch of strangers talked to James because strangers love talking to James. The best part of the day was when the food arrived. There weren't many vegetarian options, and maybe it wasn't the highest quality, but hey, it's 2 weeks, whatever. There was that time that there was a dead bug in my salad, but who even remembers that? Not me, anyways.
But the view is good. Can't complain.
It's day 11, and we're going a bit crazy, so we're having wine.
I've lost it.
Fortunately, my mum and our friend Helen sent us a video of support.
365, and we're losing it.
Very helpful, thank you. All jokes aside, it was such a small price to pay to get to be in New Zealand. We felt so lucky and actually had some good times.
And all gave so much of themselves to make this moment possible.
And some just weird times, like this was a news story about buttering toast. Like on the national news. Whatever, New Zealand, do you? Finally, our 2 weeks were up and we were put on a bus back to Auckland. Thanks guys, thank you. Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you guys?
Good, thank you.
We celebrated freedom by going to visit our friends Phil and Sarah, who were still in quarantine jail, and getting a pie, of course. From there, we flew to Christchurch to James's dad's place and met up with our girl, Doris the van. Doris is a 2011 Hyundai iLoad, and she was used as a building van before we got her, so that's why she looked like this.
She's a beauty, but I think it's going to work. I think it's going to be really cool.
We had never attempted anything like this before. We had done a lot of planning, but planning and doing are two very different things. We hoped that the build would only take 2 weeks, but that turned out to be incorrect. I don't want to be seen to be improperly using the drill bit. Is this a video? When we realized that the build was going to take a lot longer than we thought, we opted for a change of scenery and headed down to James's mum's place in Wanaka, stopping at Lake Tekapo and Lake Pukeki along the way. We were feeling pretty pent up and pretty wild. You gonna go for a swim?
I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Go for a swim. It's cold.
It's really cold.
Windy.
Okay, get on. Go then. Ah! You went in, honey. Proud of you.
So good. I feel amazing. The waves are big, like pretty big.
There are. It looks like the ocean out there, but on the other side of the lake, Mount Cook. Wow.
It is stunning. What are you worried about?
Oh, I don't want to go in, but I have to go in because you went in. So, where's a towel?
We don't have any towels.
We don't have any towels.
No. You gotta do it.
It was great to blow off some steam, but we had to continue on our way to Wanaka. We gave James's mom's dog some walks and some pats, and got right back to work. I'm not gonna lie, it was tough. Figuring out how to work on a project together as a couple was hard, and there were a lot of things we didn't know, but it was super satisfying. And did you know you can learn just about anything on YouTube? Yay! It is December 28th, and we are finally on the road.
Finally.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Well, believe it, past Kate. After 5 weeks, we were properly on the road and knew exactly where we wanted to spend our first night. And hopes were high. Well, it's our first night on the road.
Just done some dishes.
Just had dinner, doing some dishes, the sink, electronics.
Pump decided not to work. Worked 100 times before leaving. Not tonight.
Yeah, as soon as we left it stopped working. So that's a shame, but I did put up the fairy lights and we are right by Mount Cook. Mount Cook, as James would say, she's a beauty. So we're on our way to the Hooker Valley Track base, a starting point, and
It is stunning.
I have never seen anything like this before.
Yeah, it's my first time here. Oh, a few cars.
Wow. There were quite a few cars. We were doing the Hooker Valley Track, which is really popular, but popular things are popular for a reason. We eventually found a spot and headed on our way. And those reasons became very clear. After 5 weeks of a really hard van build, we were just buzzy. So buzzy that we forgot to put on the camera stabilizer, so sorry about that. Still buzzy though. About halfway through the hike, the path runs along this milky glacial stream.
Swim time. It's pretty cold.
If you find yourself in this part of the world, we highly recommend giving it a go. It made us so excited about what could be waiting for us down the road. What do you think, honey?
Not bad. It's pretty cool, huh?
Our journey north had landed us in Kaikoura on New Year's Eve. We found a free campsite, and James found some potato chips he was very excited about. It's the little things. We had the place totally to ourselves. There was no one else around. Of course, it was New Year's Eve, so people were probably having a life. James did fix the sink, though, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Flowing water.
Sick.
What do you think of that?
I think it's awesome.
This is New Year's Eve 2020, the year that everybody hates.
I'm really excited to hear
It's
what your
coming to
wrap
an
up of what 2020 is.
And we are sitting in Doris, 99% finished. It feels really good. And we are in Kaikoura, and we have the place to ourselves. I don't know if you can see, but there's the mountains up there. Kate with a bottle of wine.
Got to.
About to cook some dinner. Not bad, not bad. A very different New Year's Eve to what I've had in the past. But yeah, feel pretty good about it. Morning. It's New Year's Day. We've just had our third night in Doris. We're in Kaikoura. It's still early, it's like just after 6 AM, but check out the view. What do you reckon?
First morning of 2021. That's so beautiful.
2020 has officially ended here in New Zealand. Thank God for that.
So we're driving out of Kaikoura, heading north.
And it is a stunning day. And this road that we're driving on was basically completely destroyed during by the earthquake a few years ago. And to rebuild this road, it was the biggest engineering thing, don't know the word, project in the southern hemisphere. It was huge, and it was yeah, pretty. I don't really know what else to say about that, but
well, it's pretty beautiful now. It is a gorgeous drive along that highway, but eventually we had to stop for some very important business. Oh my gosh, look at that little baby! Look at the teeny tiny one! Can I have one?
no.
Can we get one? That important business handled, we continued down the road and tried to find a nice spot near the beach for lunch. And that's when, well, we found a cool side road because we wanted to get near to the beach. And now we're stuck. Dug ourselves a little hole here. So we're gonna try and get ourselves out. Okay. Yeah. We started by digging out the tires and then using these sticks to try to gain traction on these really slippery stones, but didn't go so well.
Still stuck? Kate's doing a good job digging us out. I think we're going to be out of here. It's not too far.
Oh, but it was kind of far, James. Fortunately, though, within minutes, people showed up to help, including a lovely French couple and some local Kiwis. They helped us push and dig and eventually gave us a tow. Yeah, yeah, yeah! Whoop whoop! So, we're free! Oh my gosh, it was, I'm glad. It could have been a lot worse. Oh my gosh, but how about all those people? Within a few minutes of us being stuck, 2 people stopped, and then a few minutes later 2 more people stopped, and eventually they were able to tow us out. But how great is that? That just people,
Good.
Kiwis showing up.
We didn't think we were that stuck too.
Yeah.
Turns out we were really stuck.
I didn't think it was that bad, but we were pretty deep in, so But yeah, lovely, lovely. Another example of Kiwis being great. Although we were hot and sweaty and probably could have done with a swim, we got back on the road. If you notice that we're going pretty quickly, it's because we have a little adventure in Auckland in a few days and we needed to make our way to Picton to catch the ferry. Although we'd be back, it felt crazy to leave the South Island so soon. We'd seen so much, and yet we knew it was just the tip of the iceberg. Around every corner in New Zealand, there is something amazing, something you've never seen before, something incredibly... Oh, geez. Anyways, we want to make sure that we're using this time to the fullest, but as James keeps reminding me, all we can do is just be present. Just be grateful. Just breathe.